Okay, today we're going to learn a little bit about line control. I know a lot of you tell me, oh, I can't draw a straight line. Or I hear it a lot when somebody tells me, or they find out that I'm a art teacher. They say they can't draw a straight line. Well, not being able to draw a straight line is actually kind of tricky, but there are some ways that we can get better at it, and we're going to go over that today. So one of the first things I want you to do is take your pencil and just try to draw a straight line. You might notice that like your wrist kind of makes the line curve, right? Mine looks curved here. And that's just because that's how your wrist operates. When we are trying to draw a line, and you're using part of your wrist, we just have a natural curve to everything that we're going to do because our wrist curves. We've got like a round joint. That's what it does. So there are some ways to compensate for it. I kind of learned how by using my shoulder. So if I'm going to put I'll just do it here. If I'm going to put my hand on the paper, I'm actually going to pull my line down with my shoulder. So you can kind of see that's obviously a straighter line, but to get one that big, I had to use my whole shoulder. If I was just using my regular tripod pencil grip and trying to draw a straight line, I mean, it's not terrible. I tend to like to pull down instead of pull up, but you got to find what works best for you. So I would try both. I would try, drawing a line from top down or bottom up and see what works best for you. So I've got a few little lines here. One way you can kind of help too with this curved line business is to kind of extend your fingers as you draw your line. Let's see if I can show you what that would look like here. Well, it's a little wobbly, but that is one way you can do it, is by I don't really like that. See, I tend to start using my pinky finger as a kickstand. You see that? And that's how I tend to get straighter lines. Now, one way you can then practice this, you can actually, see if I can cheat here. Well, because I don't have a ruler. Well, I'm not going to do that here because I only have one hand, so the other hand is holding the camera. But I do, because I'm in a notebook, I have this line here that's already printed for me. So one really good exercise is to try and go over either in a notebook where you have a pencil, a line like that, or take a ruler and draw a straight line on your paper and try to trace it. Well, that didn't work very well, did it? See, your teacher is not perfect either. I'm also looking through the camera, which makes it a little tricky. What the goal here by going over and over and over this line is to try not to make it too thick and bold. Like, practice going over and over and over this line. I know it's not super exciting, but this is something that is going to give you that muscle memory so that when it comes to drawing a straight line, your body is used to doing it. I tend to have the best luck. Again, I put my pencil on the paper. I tend to pull down, and I am using my whole arm. So I am not using my wrist to do this. I am pulling from my shoulder. And they're not half bad. So I could also practice going over these over and over and over again. This is slow, precise work, but that is what is involved in getting that line control. Sometimes changing, especially if you're standing up, changing the grip can be a good tool as well. I don't know if overhand, I am standing up, I don't know if overhand's going to be my friend or not. Not really. So I have muscle memory because I've been doing it in some ways for so long. Because some of these practices, for me, are probably going to look like yours, or maybe even worse. But that's what I'm saying. It's so important to build up that muscle memory to be able to do this. So you can actually learn how to draw the straight line. It's just figuring out which method works for you. So today, on your paper in your sketchbook, I want you to make that line, that first initial line that your arm is just going to do on its own. And then I want you to start practicing either drawing lines from top down or bottom up. See which one works best for you. Try this track method. I want you to go over, and just don't do it like 2 or 3 times. I mean, you need to go over it and over it and over it. We'll probably have to do these as do-nows as well to build those skills. But you can learn how to draw a straight line, and those are the tools to get you there.